Jesus had so many mic drop moments, times where he would say something and leave people speechless. Now, of course, there were plenty of times where he did something that left people amazed, but I want to focus on things that he said based on his response to these religious leaders' disciples who were trying to trip him up in his words. But the wisdom that Jesus exudes in such a simple answer is a reminder that the closer we are to him, the more likely we're to say and do the right things. And so when they ask him this question, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Jesus knew what they were scheming. He knew that they were trying to get him to pick a side, saying like, if we pay taxes, then that means we're supporting Rome and we're with them and we're turning to God. Or if we don't pay taxes, then that means we're an enemy of Rome and we are subject to them. They were already oppressing them. So it was a lose-lose situation, seemingly. But of course, Jesus had the right response. So his answer is, give me the coin that you're referring to, that we have to pay these taxes for. He takes a look at the coin and says, whose inscription is this? And they say, it's Caesar's. And Jesus says, well, this seems easy enough. He says, you give to Caesar what is his, and you give to God what is his. And so it is with us. As citizens of wherever you're at, you are to give the government back a portion of what it is that you earn in support of that government, so the government can support you. Now, I realize in America, our government is second to none. And I say that in respects of what the government does for its people. Okay, the government does what I believe far and above what the government should do for its people. Because I've been to countries where the government does very little for its people. But yet here in America, there are so many resources, opportunities, aid out there for those struggling in need. The list goes on. And so as a citizen of this country, a portion of what I earn, I have to give to the government to support those systems in place, those opportunities for others, right? So in other words, when I'm giving to the government, it's actually giving to, the people of this country, supporting them, those who really need it. And that's a good thing. But that's not where my allegiance is. My allegiance is not to this country. It is to God. And I am to live my life for him. And part of that is respecting the fact that the government requires a tax. And this is not a tax video, but I do pay taxes. I try to mitigate my taxes. I want to keep as much as I earn because I'm benevolent in other areas. God calls me to give and tithe in other areas, but I also obviously pay my taxes to support people of this country. That's all great. But at the end of the day, when I am obeying God with my life and I'm living for him, then I'm doing these things without even, a second thought, that I'm paying taxes. I'm not giving my life over to the United States of America. I am so thankful and grateful where I am, but this is not where my allegiance is. My allegiance is to the kingdom of heaven, where I'm going to spend eternity. Everything about this world is temporal. And that was another reminder that Jesus was giving these disciples, that this coin, the inscription of it, of Caesar, like that was exemplifying that, look, this is a temporal thing, so I give to the temporary, but my life, my soul is to God. And so I live for him. I may be in this world, but you don't necessarily have to be of this world. And again, the closer you can stay to Jesus, the more in tune with what that looks like as you go about your day.